If I could describe the bike in one short sentence.
A high-speed magnetic train.
Super speedy.
Powerful.
Pretty fast, I'm allowed to say.
When we started the project, we quickly noticed what it means to work on a platform that was aerodynamically optimized for 3 generations now.
I think the Canyon Speedmax, I believe, is the best bike on the market.
We've shown that with the many world titles from different Canyon athletes in triathlon and bike course records, etc.
We went to the Windtunnel with some new concept and also our key competitors, and we found out that the current Speedmax is still outperforming them by far. And even after a lot of redesigning our concept in the Windtunnel in CFD, we couldn't make it much quicker.
I think to beat that, you have to think, how else can we make it appropriate for everybody? And I think this is the way that Canyon have gone forward. They know they've made the best bike, and now it's like, how can we make it best for everyone?
I think one massive step forward is how adjustable it is and how easy it is for someone to get their position, because at the end of the day, the rider in himself accounts for most of the aerodynamic drag.
Around 75% of the total system drag is created by the athlete, so positioning that drag source correctly is the biggest lever in aerodynamic optimization. If we translate this into bike design, it means that the bike may never become a limitation in finding the perfect fit. The athlete should not adapt to the bike, it needs to be the other way around. The bike needs to adapt to the athlete.
We saw that there's a clear need to improve on the overall geometry of the bike. To be able to quickly adjust and test different geometry settings, we decided to build our first ever time trial, Frankenstein, which is a geometry prototype which enables us to dial in the geometry steplessly in terms of reach, fork rake, and head tube angle. We equipped our Frankenstein bike with a lot of sensors to measure the real-world forces acting on the cockpit area in different riding scenarios, and this enables us to do a detailed structural analysis afterwards and use these loads for our testing conditions, which represent the life cycle of the complete bike in our test lab.
And then we had the phase where we only tested like for ourselves. So with our dummies, even engineers of our team stepped on the bike to become a dummy for the development process.
Deck plus 40, 20 mm tiefer, 40 Grad Pads.
It always needs and takes the right people to challenge that idea in order to do a reality check to make sure it's actually holding up. And this is where the team comes into play.
We brought the Frankenstein bike to our pros, gave them different setups to test to give us the feedback which one fits the best to their needs.
You know, it's amazing the kind of data we could get from it. The feel of the bike and how we could test various setups.
Also es fühlt sich fahrtechnisch jetzt schon an, dass ich mir denke, oh fuck, wäre ich auch gerne mal gefahren. Okay. So in meiner Zeit.
And how we could make decisions based not only on simulations, on theory, but in actual practice, going out there and how does this bike handle?
Then we really learned like how the bike is received by the people who will use it in the end.
Also das ist perfekt.
Yeah. I feel like the first thing I felt personally was, compared to the original model we have now to the new model, is you feel more integrated into the bike with the reach and the length of the new head tubes. You kind of feel like you're part of it and you're kind of one with the bike.
It's a fully adapting bike-fitting bike. Because that bike has the biggest adjustment range, it allows stepless millimeter-precise adjustment of stack, reach and angle. It's everything you need if you really want to take the claim honestly, that you are not limiting the athlete in finding the perfect position. So the front end of the new generation Speedmax is more or less the same logic as a bike-fitting bike, but just for sure in an aerodynamic package that you can ride out there on the real road.
This cockpit is not only adjustable, but it's very easily adjustable. It's literally just 2 screws and you can go back and forth and change the angle, etc. That's really, really a game changer, I think, for athletes as pros, but even just for amateurs.
over the last 3-4 years, like my body has changed and the way I react and interact with the bike. Technology improves and aerodynamics and helmets change. You want to be able to adjust again. So it's really it's quite a good long-term thing, as well as like small nuances to optimize your position.
We engineered the widest cockpit adjustment range in the market,
which allows you to test multiple positions without additional tools and parts needed in a short period of time.
What we've built on this new Speedmax, especially when it comes to the whole area between the arms, is something that's very, very unique in the bike industry. We've managed to not only be able to accommodate for more liquid and nutrition on the bike, but also it actually have a positive impact on aerodynamics.
There's like one goal of having the hydration and the nutrition as close as possible to the rider. So one part of like causing drag is when the rider is moving out of the position where he or she has the least amount of drag, which is in the extensions. So whenever we can avoid the athlete changing position, we also help with lowering the drag. This helps with like guiding the airflow and navigating the airflow around the rider towards like areas where it causes less drag.
And this is why we came up with the requirement that we want to have a fully rigged bike with 3.5 liters of personalized fluid and hydration to take out of T1 directly, because this helps you to do almost a full long distance without needing to refill.
Moritz and his team really developed a cockpit that's very, very adjustable, and I think that makes a big difference for both us as pros, but also for age groupers.
I really feel like it's a massive step in the right direction of comfort and speed and hydration.
Well, the new Speedmax is purely about the actual athlete performance. It's not about a wind tunnel performance. It's not about just being the fastest bike. It's about being the bike that can meet you as an athlete where you need to race.
For me, the joy of seeing this bike behind me as a like physical product which people ride, which people like create memories on, and which athletes use to become world champions, that really like brings me joy.
The biggest achievement with the next generation Speedmax is that we truly enable each and every Canyon rider to customize a setup that is outperforming the pro-exclusive setups of the past straight out of the box.